Um, can you hear me?
Yep, we're ready when you are.
All right. So basically, what I said yesterday evening that that many turnovers, that's a problem. Um, I take responsibility for it because of all three phases. We struggled there at times. Didn't take advantage of opportunities, which we normally do. They took advantage of opportunities on our side with 17 points off of the turnovers, and you just can't. You're not going to be able to function at a very high level in the National Football League and win games playing like that. So it's my responsibility to get the team ready, and obviously, we weren't ready to play right there. I mean, they did a better job than what we did. So with that, time's yours.
Go first to Pete Sweeney. Good, Pete.
Hey, Coach. In your look back at the all 22, was the offensive issue just as simple as the turnovers, or could there be a greater issue with separation for some of your pass catchers? I know the trade deadline is coming up. I guess do you feel like you guys have enough in house in that regard?
Well, I do. The It was a combination of things. It was one of those where we were kind of chasing, whether it was starting with me with a play call, whether it was the play that was called was okay, but we had a breakdown in protection, whether the protection was good and the play was good. We, receiver dropped the ball or we didn't make the right read, from our quarterback side, and or we were running a wrong route. So it was one of everything. So when I mentioned that last night about there were things that I hadn't seen before from this group, who I have a lot of trust in. I saw things that I hadn't seen before. So somewhere I didn't get that point across to the guys and my coaches. So we got to make sure we do a better job there.
Let's go next to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
And Brad, I'll have a follow-up if I could too, please. Coach, I know, listen, you just stated that a lot of things obviously didn't go the way you wanted them to go. So when I ask this question, I'm not bringing it up as just, this one play or anything deciding the game, but MVS, when Pat on the fourth down threw it up to MVS, looked like that, he was being held. And we see it all the time in like the Hail Mary situation where receivers will just be kind of mauled. When you're in the competition committee conversations, is there talk about that like, hey, that's just how they're going to call it. They're not going to make a call on that, and we all got to live with it? Or is that, being the offensive guy in the room, is that something that, you bring up and has been discussed in the past?
Yeah, listen, I mean, we go through all that stuff. I would tell you, you look at Sky Moore. Sky Moore is going to take heat for dropping the ball. Well, when you look at it on tape, you see that his inside arm was dragged down, so away from the ball. So listen, the officials are human. They do a good job. It's just, sometimes it's hard to see everything. That's a tough deal by angles and all that. But I would tell you the majority of the time they do a good job with all that.
All right. And then just procedurally, I know the punters have gotten better and better in the league. And so where you catch it has gotten further and further, gotten closer and closer to the goal line. Would you, are you okay with McCole trying to make that catch at the 5, or is that starting to get to an area where you'd rather see him just turn and let it go?
Yeah, listen, I think he mentioned it last night that, he probably got a little greedy on that one, and you're inside the 10, you just let that go.
Let's go next to Jesse Newell. Go ahead, Jesse.
Hey, Andy. End of the first half, you guys had a 1st and 10 in the red zone, and that was the Mahomes strip sack play. You seemed pretty frustrated after that one. I just wondered if you could explain, kind of looking at that play call, what you guys were going for on that particular one.
Yeah. Well, obviously completion, more of a down there against that defense. And we're going to say the same thing this week. So it's the same defense. is you have bang bang calls, and you've got you got to get the ball out fast, and if that's not there or available, then you're going to hang on to it and try to make a play. But that that was the call, was one for a bang banger. It just didn't work out the way I wanted it.
Let's go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, this is kind of a historical, philosophical question, but seems appropriate with you playing the Dolphins, and they're doing a lot of things with Tyreek, with jet motion that you did with him. I know, Bill Walsh going back, hey, pre-snap motion's been part of the West Coast offense from the beginning. I know he told a story about Bob Trumpy lining up on the wrong side one day, and when he switched over, seeing the confusion it causes. But for you, how did that pre-snap motion, motion and the jet sweep motion kind of evolve with you as kind of a eureka moment in the offense?
Yeah, so I know that story about from Bill Walsh. One of the things that you're always trying to do is give your quarterback a tell. So you're not just going to motion to motion, or shift to shift, or jet sweep to jet sweep, motion it. So you're doing it for a reason, to try to give everybody, not only your quarterback, but everybody there, including the offensive line, an opportunity to see if there's an adjustment that takes place with it from the defense. So and you watch us. I mean, we motion almost every play. It's we've got something going on there, whether it's just a short motion, or we're flinching a motion. You see Trav do that where it looks like he's going to go on one side, comes back just off of one step. So it just gives you an idea of what the defense is really going to show you. Defense is disguised very well, Matt, and so any pre-snap read that you can get, should be able to help you.
Let's go next to Mackenzie Nelson. Go ahead, Mackenzie.
Hey, Coach, as you guys look to put this game behind you, could you talk a little bit about the excitement for Germany, but also the challenges that you guys are faced with this week as you prepare for that game?
Yeah, Mackenzie, it's a longer plane ride, so you've got to make sure that you handle that part right. It's a different time zone by quite a few hours, and so you've got to make sure that you handle that part, and get some rest on the plane. We take everything into consideration from hydration on. So, and then how we practice once we get there. And so we leave on Thursday. We try to get our work done here and then get over there and still give ourselves time to kind of get in line. The game, I think, is an 8:30 a.m. game here. Or somewhere in that area. So it's it's a bit different that way, but there is an excitement to it too. I mean, of going over there playing, and then you get to play a good football team, which we enjoy doing that.
Got two more. We'll go Sarin and we'll go Matt. Go Sarin.
Coach, on the Germany front, I think I saw that the Dolphins are going over today. You're not going over till Thursday. I'm just curious what experiences, different things. What brought you to the decision to go when you are going over?
Yeah. Everybody kind of does it a little different. We did this a couple of years ago when we went to London. I've done it before with other teams, and so I just it worked. So I've kind of stuck by it. And we'll see how it goes. There's anyways, that's I'm not sure there's any right or wrong way. I mean, teams have done it all different ways, but I've had success doing it this way.
We'll go last to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach. Historically speaking, your teams have tended to bounce back pretty quickly after tough losses. I'm just curious what goes into that process of learning from the previous game, but also flushing it and moving on.
Yeah, Matt. Well, it's you said it. I mean, you've got to learn from it, and there's a couple ways you can go about it. You can hang your head, or you can face the facts and try to get better. And so we've tried to go about it that way, make ourselves a better team. I don't know if that ties into the wins or losses after a bad game, but I mean, that's the way we approach it. And you know, we've got good players here and good coaches, and there's a small margin between winning and losing in this league. And so you got to stay on top of your game all the time, every minute of it. So you start with that, and then you go to the rest of it, things that we can learn from.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Thanks, Andy.